Hello, hello. What's up, landlords? I don't know if this thing is working this time. I just had some technical difficulties. Oh man. So this is my first time testing out the Skool native, going live feature they have. And I was going to use this opportunity to share a bunch of stuff that I've been working on in the background, primarily AI automations and stuff. And it's really fun and cool. And I'm going to introduce you to, let me see if this is going to work. The AI bot that I built. Here's the contact info. Here he is. That's his image. I call him 4DELTA bot. He's the landlord helper. And I want to introduce you guys to him because I'm going to show you what he can do. So first off, I had to build a Airtable to track all the VIPs who I'm going to give access to use this guy. And, let me know what you think, any feedback or whatever. That'd be great. And then now I'm going to show you the different workflows that I've been working on and how I've been training the AI real quick. Let me show you all the code and everything that I've been working on. This is crazy. You think it's not that much, but if you scroll this way, it's really long with info. But the first workflow that I want to share with you is the email router. And this is where you would email the bot. And the bot is bot at 4delta.com. So you guys are already on the VIP list and you're welcome to email them and test them out. So far, I don't have all the different child workflows done yet, but I want to share what I have done so far. And let me explain what the difference between automation and AI automation is. Automation is like if this, then that. Zapier used to, only do that stuff. Now they're integrating some AI into it. But I got an API key with X.ai, and I use Grok3 for these nodes. And what it is you guys could email the bot. He can read and interpret and understand what's asking, and then he could send it down the different child workflows that I'm building, and then it can do something for you and take action. So this is the webhook that I set up, and I've already built my server, and months and months of work. What it's going to do is parse the email, and then it's going to build a clean body. It's going to search and make sure you're on the VIP list, which I shared here. I'm tracking who's free, paid, and who downgraded, because at some point I might actually have to, um, cut people off because it's going to charge the more credits tokens that I use. And I don't know how expensive this is going to get. And then if there's an issue and you're not on the list, it's going to send you down this. Oh no, that's an error. If you get down here to this if node and you're not on the list, it's going to send you an email saying, hey, how you can get into the Skool community and get on the 4Delta members list. After this point is where it's going to start charging, AI tokens and stuff like that. It's going to build the Grok body. Grok is going to classify it, understand what's going on. We're going to log it for my own troubleshooting efforts because the bot has this Telegram group for errors that I built for myself. It's going to send me alerts if anything breaks and stuff like that. And then it's going to go down to this switcher, and this switcher has different child workflows that I've been building, and I'll let you know which ones are working right now. I wanted to have all this done, but it's just so much work. There's no way. I might as well start releasing some of this info out and see what happens. So let's say you go down the first path, which is path 0. This is going to be one of the harder ones. I'm going to wait to build this one later. The idea here is you email the bot, say, hey, you got some tenant request or some issue going on with your tenant. Grok's going to understand it. It's going to send you up here to tenant support. This is a whole nother child workflow I'm going to build. And then it's going to use my code and stuff that I got for training. Inside here, I have everything from YouTube how-to videos to like my system shortcuts and my hands-off DIY property management style, which is very biased towards the landlord, doing less, but having control. I like to summarize it kind of like self-checkout, or I call it self-service management for tenants. And let's say the tenant has some situation with a maintenance issue, and you can follow the LIPS acronym where you listen, identify, ask for pictures, troubleshooting, um, um, get them to probe and see what the problem is. Did they cause the damage? Did they do any troubleshooting? Do you ask them questions? Because you're trying to get them involved and you want to make these tenants long-term residents. So you want to do a really good job handling stuff. So another thing I like to do is say, hey, can you go on Lowe's, Home Depot and send me 3 links, and I act as the property manager. So I'm requesting this so we can send it up to the team, to the office, and see if we can get an approval for replaced for a replacement of some sort, whatever they recommend. It's their house. I want them to have ownership and I want them to be involved in this process. I don't have to go with what they selected, but I want them to see prices and understand what's going on. So this is a kind of training bias training that I'm building into these setups, because if you ask just regular AI, Gemini, or, let's say Copilot, or, even Grok, it's going to give you a generic answer. It's going to say, oh, you could do this or you could do that. And, check your state laws and fair housing and get a lawyer. Me, I'm going to give bias information that preserves the landlord's hands-off strategy, doing this so you can cash flow forever, making it really easy, getting the tenant involved, and have them kind of carry the, their portion of it. Because most of this stuff that's handled, or that we handle, they could handle it. It just requires a little bit finessing in how you deliver it and kind of recruiting them to kind of assist. Like I've had tenants do painting and landscaping and like all kinds of stuff. When problems come up, like a HOA violation, or they have some question, I don't just jump in and fix stuff. This isn't a hotel. What I do is I give them FAQs, I give them how-to videos, I cite the lease, and I say, hey, you got a home warranty, and in the future, so you can resolve stuff faster. Don't forget to check our website, our FAQs, because I'm trying to train them to self-serve. It's just like self-checkout. Everybody can do it. It's so simple. You just kind of knock it out. It's actually preferred. You can just do stuff faster on your own. So that's the type of bias stuff that I'm building into this. But this tenant support one is not ready. If you email the bot and ask stuff like that, it's going to break at some point. But the next node, that the child workflow I'm working on, this one's also not done yet, but it will be soon. I feel like this one's not too hard. It's your rental listing writer. You can email the bot and say, hey, I want to build a listing for my property. Here's what I got. And you give it the information. It's going to, the Grok's going to interpret it, understand it. I'm going to train it to use my style of bullet points and kind of making it really easy to read and straight to the point. Not like a real estate agent where they try to sell some glamorous house in some wonderful neighborhood with open floor plans and lots of natural light and lush garden and all this crap words and stuff that tenants don't care about. Also, I don't waste time explaining stuff that's in the pictures. The pictures, are worth 1,000 words, and they say more than the description. So don't waste time talking about all this fluff. That's my style, my bias that I'm building into it. So you'll be able to email the Grok AI, and my training will spit back something to you and give you the whole listing. And there might be some placeholders in there if you didn't give the information. Or what I'm thinking about doing is having the workflow respond back with the email saying, hey, this is what we need to write a really good listing. And then you would send a new email, because I don't want to have conversation email threads. I'm trying to make it be one-way communication. You email everything you need and it interprets it and it gets what it needs and it responds back. If it doesn't get something, what I have it do is I go down to like an if node and it splits and it goes down to an email that says, hey, this is what we need, and then send a new email request, start over. So I don't have to deal with the complexity of memory and conversation threads and stuff. And I'm also going to, if there's ever any pictures, whenever you guys are going to, and some of the other nodes I'm working on, I think I'm going to, instead of doing attachments, I'm going to ask for URLs, because the Grok AI can understand. It can look at the image if you share it via URL. If you use Google Drive, you can just share the document or the image with a URL, and then it will be better for me to understand and send back whatever we need. So the other node that I got here, the child workflow, is run landlord forms. So let's say you need a move in, move out condition report, or you want to add a clause to your lease. Let's say like you want to build in rent increases into your lease. It's going to suggest something that, how my style is, where I put in the lease. If you renew for 1 year, let's say the rent goes up, increases 8%. But if you renew for 2 years, it only goes up 5% or something lower. The point is, I'm trying to incentivize the tenants to stay long-term. They're good tenants. I want to keep them. And I like to have it full transparency, and the tenants know what's coming and they can see it in their lease and understand it. And also there's more to it. So like, let's say the tenant doesn't want the increase and they're asking you something, then you can respond back, paste in their response, email the bot. The bot will give you some input about how to handle, objections and negotiate and stuff that I've gone through and what I intend to add to the tenant support. But that's how you could use tenant support. Let's say they texted you something, you can just copy and paste it into the email. Another one is the run calendar appointments. This one's functioning right now. I ran into problems trying to optimize it for all different platforms, but for some reason, Apple's very restrictive. And if you're on the mobile and you try to get the calendar appointment that I'll send you, I already built it into my server where it stores it for like a week and then it will delete it. So I don't have too much space. Um, when you do it through mobile, it tries to treat it like some kind of subscription series or something. And I tried to troubleshoot this for hours and days and it didn't work. So I put a little note in there that says, hey, it's optimized for desktop. When you add the calendar to whatever you want on desktop, you can add your invitees in the calendar event itself by just, adding the emails of other people that are going to be attending, and then they'll get the alerts that way. Or the email summarizes what the calendar appointment's about, and you could just copy that and send it if you want. If you, for some reason, fail to give your like time zone or something, it's going to send you an email, say, hey, can you send a new email requesting your calendar appointment and just include these details? So it can be a whole new thread, and then it can respond back. That one's working right now. So you guys could email the bot and say, showing in the subject, or showing or appointment request in the subject, and then in the body, say what it's for, the date, time, your time zone, and it will send that back right now. The resident reminders, another one that I did was the seasonal household maintenance kind of email series that I have already built for myself and I use my tenants. I built a separate one that is a template that's going to go to you guys, the landlords, and you can copy it, edit it, or whatever, and then send it to your tenants. And I was going to build it all inside of N8N, but I decided to use my ClickFunnels 2.0 to have that handle all the emails, because I was thinking if you guys ever want to unsubscribe, you could just click the bottom link at the bottom of these emails and you could stop getting them. But if I did it in N8N, it just overcomplicates stuff. And I was like, no, I already have the infrastructure built. It will respond back. It'll say, hey, here's how you get your templates. Sign up here. And it'll tell you the month to select from the drop down, depending on when you emailed. And so like if you emailed right now, it's October, it'll say, hey, here you go. Here's the link. Select October from the drop down, and you'll start getting the resident reminder templates that you can send to your tenant. And that one's working too. So if you wanted to email the bot right now, you can put like newsletter in the subject line, and in the bottom you say, hey, opt me in for the resident reminders or the newsletter, whatever you want. And then it will respond back and tell you exactly how to do it. The lease renewal reminders, that's the one I'm working on next. It turned out to be a little bit more complex. It's going to have to be 2 different workflows. The first one to handle the request and understand the request. Then it's going to move that information over to another workflow and log all the leases. So let's say a landlord has a couple of tenants, or a few, or 10, I don't know, and you put all that into the email, and it wants to, it needs to understand what that is. So I have to store it somewhere else, and it's going to check this other workflow. Grok will go through it weekly and see if you're within some kind of like 90 days out from the end of the lease. Then it will send you the reminder. And then when it gets a little bit closer, around 60 days, it'll do the same thing. It'll send you another one. I was going to do 30, but I'm like, that's too much. I don't want to be bothering people. And maybe I can change it later. I don't know. This is all new stuff. I'm trying to put out things that are helpful for landlords, and then figure out what's popular, what's good, and make new stuff too, of course. And then other things, maybe I delete them if nobody uses them. And then this run lease or the screening guide. This was going to be something where I was going to help you guys screen for tenants, but then I ran into some issues with websites. Like if you're trying to search and see if anybody's been evicted, or they're in small claims court and stuff like this, and some of the websites, there's so many of them across all the different states, it became too complex and it'll cost too much because some websites require an API key to plug in and you got to pay for the searches and stuff. So now what I'm going to do is put together a whole screening guide of helpful things that don't forget when you're screening a tenant. And this one's going to be more like a guide, maybe some videos and some resources to make sure you're following like a nice checklist and just not overlooking anything. And then you don't have to like worry about it so much. You can be like, oh, try to remember everything. It's kind of hard. You can just say, hey, I need help screening. I got a few tenants. Can you help me out? Send me the resources or whatever. And it should understand the email. And it's a fallback down here at the bottom. Let's say you send something it doesn't understand. It's going to send you this email. And this email down here is a little bit of training help. So it's like, hey, please send a new email with a subject line kind of like this. It gives examples and be as descriptive as possible in the body so the AI can understand it. And then it'll log this so I can learn if anything's not working and I can come back and fix it. So here's all the different child workflows I'm working on. I got the error handler working, the email router working, the resident reminders working, the counter appointments working, the lease renewal reminders. That's what's coming. I'm in the process of building that. That's going to be a 2-part workflow. I'm going to have to add a new one. And then some other ones that are turned off right now. But that's pretty much it. That's all I really wanted to show for now. Let me see. And I'm testing like Skool live and see if this works. The first time it didn't work, so here I go again. Oh, and another thing, why not share it? Just split it, yeah. If you wanted to build workflows on your own, you can go to N8N and you can buy their cloud package. The starters $24 a month. Or what I was thinking is like if I build them and I put them in the classroom, and you guys just tell me what you want, I can build the stuff and you could use my infrastructure and all the know-how. I've spent months learning this. It's very difficult, but let's say for some reason, you guys are trying to break off into your own thing and you need help building your own systems or whatever, your AI automations, and you like some of the stuff that I build that's helpful and you want to build it, by all means, let me know. We can work together and I could help you kind of build this, but it's pretty complex, especially if you want to do the server setup, server management. You got to pay for the server. You got to buy a domain. You got to pay for that. You got to buy the N8N. And if you want any API keys and plug it into other stuff, of course, you got to pay for, I use Grok AI. You got to buy the tokens and it's a lot, but at least I'm going to throw it out there and say, hey, this is what it takes if you're interested. And that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share a little bit of stuff that I've been working on behind the scenes. I was hoping to have like finished product to just share with you guys, but it is 100% not ready. But like, I don't know, this is exciting for me. It's fun. I'm looking forward to what other cool ventures I can build because I have so much systems and SOPs and all this stuff. And like I was thinking of another idea is building a Chrome extension and then having it instead of like a property management software that you got to have that does all the stuff. I was thinking about trying to make it real light and do it in a Chrome extension. And then it will be able to have access to anything you're doing. And you'll be able to like, add your tenants in there, add your property in there, and I'll build it in a way that where like it helps you monitor maintenance and stuff. Like, okay, when was your smoke COs installed? And there'll be reminders that, hey, it's coming up for renewals. Maybe even helping you guys guide you in the right direction of setting up Amazon business accounts. So you can order resupplies and turnovers coming up, different things to log what you've already replaced, some large CapEx things that are upcoming. I don't know. I got lots of ideas. So this is fun. And that's it for now. I guess I'll see you guys around. Bye.